All right, so still a little sick here, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to do this challenge. So what he basically wants, or Bob's the role, I think what he basically wants me to do is to render out all three of these components, or render out all three of these cards without having to pass the props like this, or hard coding it into the props or the properties of the component. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm moving it into a file called carddata.js. And then what I'm going to do is map over it using the array map method. So let's go ahead and keep doing this. And just making sure that this will work correctly. So keep doing this. Price 50. All right, so I think I have all of my components correctly in there. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to remove these cards from here. So that's going to go ahead and take away those cards. I'm also going to delete this. This is just from a last challenge. So I'm also getting this weird kind of, I don't know why that's happening. That's weird. Hold on. Okay, that's happening either way. I don't know what the fix to that is just yet, but we're just going to go ahead and comment all of this out for now. And what I basically want to do is I'm going to want to use, so I'm going to close out a lot of this stuff as well. This was just me practicing on my own. I don't think I need this anymore. So this is the jokes data. This is the card component. So we are going to use this card component to go ahead and create a new component called cards. I don't know if that's a good name. Cards map, JSX. Cards map. Oh, that's a folder. I am really sick here, so I might really just make really silly mistakes. So we're gonna say card map.jsx, and we want to pass some things to this JSX. So first thing we want to import is our card data. So we want to get our card data from our carddata.jx because that's what we're going to use the map method on. And then we also want to go ahead and import our card. So we want to import our card.jsx component because we're going to use this component to render other components. So now I can make a default export default function called card map. And the card map is going to take the card data and we're going to map over it. So I can say card data mapped is going to equals to the card data dot map. So we're going to map over each card. And what we're going to do is we are going to return the card component. So we're going to return a card component from this file here. And instead of having to hard code IMG rating, review count, country, title, and price over and over again, we can reference it from the card. So here we can go ahead and use the same prop names just to make sure it works, because since it's connected to this card component, we need to make sure we use the correct names. So the first thing we have to pass over is the IMG. And the IMG is basically going to equal to the card. I think it's with these, to the card.img. So now we are referencing the card IMG, and I want to go ahead and export it. So to do that, we can say return, and I want to return a div with my card data mapped. So I want to go ahead and return a div with this data, which is containing the card data that's being mapped and returning a component. So in our main.jsx, we have so much imported, just a lot of practice. We want to insert card map.jsx. And then now over here, we can just do it at the top. we can go ahead and say card map. And what we'll notice here, we are not getting anything. And let me see, because I've ran into this issue a few times and I may have to make an adjustment here. So we are returning our card IMG. Let's see what happens when we just return nothing. So we're not getting anything as well. So we're returning our card data. Each card will return a card component. Let me make sure I am referencing this component correctly. Yep, card. So I am. And then card data mapped. And then I am getting the card mapped because that's where I need to gather it from. I'm going to compare it to my jokes component. So my joke map is down here. So, or I can just say my country map component. So country map. Let me go to my country map component. It's weird that it's just not working. So this is our countries. So we're saying our countries mapped, country data. We're returning our countries with our name, capital, and region. That's just so weird that it's not working. Let me see. IMG. So let me grab some other values like our rating. Our rating equals card.rating. And then let me grab my review count. Review count equals card.review count. And let me make sure that my card data is correct. So export default. And we have our IMG, our rating, review count. Yeah, that's really weird. So what else are we getting? Let me just go ahead and move in all these values. So our country can be card.country. And then our title, card.title. Wrong one. So our title equals card.title. And then our price is going to equals to card.price. And then our button is going to equal to our card.button. And oh man, I don't know why this isn't working. So let me go into our countries and I just want to see how I wired this. So we need our country data, and then we're also going to need our countries JSX. So our countries JSX, did I have, yeah, this is all correct. Move my card over here. So props, saying props.button, props.img, props.rating, props.price, props.title. That's exactly how we're referencing it here. Countries map, grabbing our countries from here. So that's where we're grabbing this from. I don't know if I have some kind of typo here. Yeah, our card map. Yeah, that's really, really weird. Oh man. Okay. So we're grabbing our components, our card map.jsx, export default function. So we're exporting a default function. That's our card. And this is our card props. So we're using our card data and we're using our card. Let's see, is there any difference here? I don't think there is a difference here. I don't know why this isn't working. Let me remove IMG and let me go ahead and go here and say card map. Nope. Buddy. Okay. So let me go back to my card and let me see I'm referencing all of them correctly here. Export default function card countries map. So I'm passing all my props. So if I don't return anything, I'm probably getting an error here as well. So let me look at that. Card data mapped is not defined. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just did this again. I just didn't put const. Okay. So I just did not do that again. And that is ridiculous. Like, I don't know why I've made that mistake so many times. Let me see. Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. Let's go in here, and where is our button coming from? So it's coming from IMG, sold out IMG. Okay, so I need to say for our Katie, we're going to say /IMG/Katie /IMG/wedding SVG. And then we're going to say /IMG/bike SVG. I may need to rerun localhost just to make this work. npm run dev. And then we'll go ahead and paste this somewhere else. So we're not getting our images. And he kind of said it wasn't going to work unless we had it in the public folder. So it is in the public folder. I don't even know what to do here. IMG. Are we referencing this correctly? Oh, because we didn't. Oh, man. Okay, because we took it off. So we can just say IMG equals card.img. And maybe we need to go back to just using katie.svg and then using wedding.svg and then using bike.svg. And then here we can go ahead and say flex. Let me see. Row, or it's wrapping, but it shouldn't be wrapping that early. Yeah, it doesn't even seem to really be in Flexbox mode at all. Okay, so that's our card map component. And let me see here. Let me see. Flex. This is going to change the actual card, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to change the actual card. Let me see here. Let's just say flex. I need to see Tailwind stocks. Tailwind doc. Flex. Flex row. Flex row. Okay, it's not doing that. Maybe it's the way we are. There we go. Okay, so it was just being affected somewhere else. So I don't even need to do that anymore. That's no longer a need. So we found the solution for that. Let me go back to my card map. Let's see. So I want to explain this, and this was just a little ridiculous problem I had. What we're basically doing here is that we're importing two things. So I want to import my card data, which is containing all of the information to load into these cards down here. And then I also want to go ahead and import my card. So my card is going to create the actual card. So we need both of these things because we are going to have to map over this card data file. And each time we map over this card data file, we are going to call these individual objects a card. So this is a card, this is a card, and this is a card. And what we want to do with those cards is that we want to create a new card component. So this card over here, we want to create a new component. And so basically now we want to pass in the properties. So the properties of IMG, rating, review count, country, title, price, and the button. So this button up here. And the way we go ahead and do that is by going inside of the card. So remember I said these are all cards. So each one of these is a card and they all have a value of IMG. So we're using object dot notation to reference that card's image. So for every card component, we will go inside and grab the image for all of them and create a new card with the image. And then we'll do that for all the other things. So rating, review count, country, title, price, and button. And then at the end here, we go ahead and we will return the card map data. So why not return this card? So why not do that? And the reason why we wouldn't do that is because that's not really returning anything. Like it's just going to return nothing. And that's because we need to return how can I say this? We need to return the result of mapping over all of these and creating each card. And the result is stored inside of this card data mapped variable. So now we go ahead and we map over all of them. And obviously this one doesn't have a button because if we notice here inside of our card component, when we're using this, this image right here, we went ahead and we positioned it with absolute, and then we getting the src from props.button, and the style is going to display. If the props.button exists, then it's a block, but if it doesn't have anything, then it won't be there. So that's why this doesn't have a button, because if we go into our card data, this last one doesn't have a button at all. So that's something that I reviewed or went over in a different video, but that's pretty much it. Really silly mistake, but yeah, that's how we can go ahead and iterate over things and not have to basically rely on hard coding our properties. So I want to explain this in more detail. So instead of having to make 3 of these components, now we're making 6. In the past, we would have to write out the properties every single time, but now we just go ahead and we reference it from one file. And if I wanted to go ahead and make a new card, I can do that much easier. So let me go ahead and say like rating 5.0. And it went ahead and it created a new card. So that is just so much easier than having to create a whole new component and then do other stuff with that component. Instead, I can just write data right here and I can go ahead and load up new cards. So right now, as you see, we are creating a new card. So what's the title for this card? And then the price is going to be $80. And then we're going to go ahead and create an image. And I want to explain how this works too in a second. So we can say star.svg because I want to use a picture. Okay, that's not a great SVG at all. Airbnb. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter here, but the main thing to take out is that we were able to make a whole new card component without having to go into our JSX and redoing this card here. And that saves us so much time. And I want to explain why this happens. So when we use the map method, it's almost like saying we're taking the length of the card data. So if we were to compare this to a regular for loop, it would almost be like saying for count equals 0. And then we're saying card data dot length. So I think it'd be I is less than card data dot length. And then we are incrementing over it once every time. It'd almost be like saying card data dot length. So it's always going to take the length of the card data and iterate over it, no matter if that length is 1 or if that length is 500. But if we did something like this, like 5, then it wouldn't work, because let's say now we have 10 cards that we need to render up. Well, our for loop is only going to do 5 and not 10. So we would have to basically go in here and we'd have to say, actually do 10. And then if we wanted to, let's say we had 200 cards, we'd have to go back here and say, hey, we have 200. And imagine a platform like YouTube. They wouldn't be able to sit here and actually do this live. So I think a good example would be to go to google.com and then let's say YouTube live live video upload count. So let's go ahead and see. So let's say videos uploaded, or that's not a good one. I want to see hours of a video watched, claimed the content. So hold on. Video uploaded every minute. So if we were, let's say I was a developer for YouTube, and we can just go back here. And let's say this isn't videos watched. This is instead videos posted. If I was a developer for YouTube, imagine having to do this live. So as I'm putting the 6, 8, 9, it's already changed. As I'm already doing this, it's already changed. Like the number is just unmanageable to keep up with. So by using the map method, it's going to keep up live with this. And it's not going to basically have a developer having the need to go ahead and hard code this. And obviously it's probably more complicated than this, but I thought that was a good way to go ahead and explain it. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to delete this card right here just because I don't really need it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that answers it. So import the array, map over, okay, display. So they'll be looking like block elements, label at starting later. Okay, yeah, I already kind of did what he was talking about here. So that's pretty much it. I probably sound like I'm dying, and it's probably because I feel like I'm dying, but yeah, that's pretty much it.